Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about one of Kenny's personal possessions which was with him on his final hike, and that is his mobile phone. Now, what significance does that have over the disappearance of Kenny Veach? Well, it's possibly what was on that phone, why was it dumped there, and why would a suicidal person need to take something like that with them when they're going somewhere to finish the job, if you get me, because they're not going to need it afterwards. So there's a few questions surrounding it. Also, there's a lot of theories of people saying why it was put there and what actually happened, but we'll get into them later, as well as my opinion. What I'll show with you now is a picture of a phone. I don't know if it's of Kenny's phone, if it was taken by one of the rescue teams when they came across his personal items left behind. The reason why I say it with uncertainty is because this was the only reasonable image in terms of the actual phone on the terrain, which kind of looks kind of like a desert. It was from Scare Theatre's video. I don't know if it's fake. It's definitely not photoshopped, but I don't know if it's genuinely Kenny's phone. But I'll share it with you now. Here is an example of Kenny's phone, which was left laying abandoned on the ground. It was located near the mine shaft. For some people, that raised question and suspicion. The key question is, what did the rescue team do with the phone? And what condition was it in? Now, the rescue team first came across his vehicle. Located further back. The rescue team did inspect the car to try and find valuable information or any form of explanation to what happened to Kenny. Now, the vehicle itself was pretty empty. It was just left laying there, abandoned. There wasn't really any paper inside, any documents, no receipts which could have gave a date or of a location of where he visited. But from the rescue team, the only stuff they found was some loose change. Now, you could question it and say maybe there might be more to it. There might be some information in that vehicle which has not been revealed. You never know. But the vehicle itself, for it to just be left there, for it to eventually rust, break down, like the odd few other vehicles in the Nevada desert, it makes you think, what about all those other abandoned wreckages of cars, and cars in good condition? What happened to the owners? Did the same happen to them? Was this some kind of graveyard? But we didn't really hear much from the rescue team afterwards. They were only active for so long, and they only did so much. However, now, another theory was the phone left by the mine shaft was done on purpose as a decoy. Whether it was by Kenny himself or third-party people, people think the phone was placed there to throw others off the scent, to make it seem like maybe Kenny went down the mine shaft and something happened. But another YouTuber, a hiker named Jeff Clark, went out, explored the mine shaft which the phone was next to, which Kenny stood next to, and there wasn't much at the bottom. There was no human remains, and within that mine shaft, some of the tunnels or so were blocked off, and I don't feel that Kenny would have gone down one, because even he said it's dangerous and unsafe. He was probably going elsewhere. However though, that doesn't rule everything out completely though, because there's certain theories talking about different tunnels underground connected with one another. Some people giving the idea that maybe there are tunnels underground which link to caves, systems, forms of getting around. Who knows? Could a mine shaft, a opening, a tunnel lead onwards to locating the M cave, or maybe something else? However though, linking back, the mobile phone which was left near the mine shaft is a little odd. Why did it have to be placed right there, exactly where Kenny stood to introduce himself in his M Cave hike video? Was it some kind of marker, leaving behind something of him? Who knows? But still, that mine shaft, the tunnels beneath, blocked or unblocked, it'd be interesting to know where they may lead, because they could go quite dark and deep, and you never know what you might find. Now, the final theory, which other people have mentioned, is that the phone was placed where it was to avoid the true location of wherever Kenny was. Now, similar to the decoy theory, people believe one of two things. Either Kenny left the phone there because he did not want to be found as he was going to commit suicide, or the other idea was a third-party group made sure that the phone wasn't traceable to Kenny, and therefore it was placed where it was. Now, as said earlier, the condition of the phone is unknown. The files on the phone are unknown. So that does raise question. Now, if we look at the main overall idea that Kenny is suicidal and he's going out to finish the job, why would a suicidal person take a mobile phone with them into an area they don't want to be found, and additionally, the phone is unusable? There is no signal, you can't phone someone, you can't message someone and say your final words. So what other practical use of the phone would it provide? Nothing really. Maybe looking at the odd picture on your phone of someone, maybe as a final goodbye. However though, it leans more towards a different idea, that if Kenny didn't want to be found, why would he have even took the phone with him to begin with? You know, the best possible situation would be to leave his phone at his house or on the side of a road, away from the desert, away from attention, surely, if he doesn't want to be found. Because although the desert is vast. Just by knowing a rough location, environment and type of terrain, it kind of gives off hints, it kind of sets the scene. Something that Kenny probably wouldn't want. So if he truly wanted to do it discreetly, he would have left as little trace as possible. And obviously, he did leave his phone behind, but further on into the hike. So that is questionable, if you think about it. And finally, my opinion, the way I see things after taking into consideration all the other ideas, is one of two things. Either one, Kenny accidentally dropped his phone when bending down, when inspecting something such as the mine shaft. He didn't realise the phone dropped, maybe because of the noise of the terrain he was walking on. The crunching may have blocked out the sound of the impact of the phone hitting the ground, potentially. But equally though, it all depends what sort of trousers pockets he had. If he had buttoned pockets, zipped trousers, then the phone wouldn't magically fall out, and that would raise suspicion that Kenny took it out manually and purposely threw it on the floor with some force. Now, one thing to take into mind though, a key conflict and almost contradiction is that if Kenny is suicidal and he's gone to that desert to end his life, he said in a past comment to Sharon that if he's going to go out, he's going to do it and he'll make sure he's not found. If that was the day Kenny disappeared was the day he decided to end it and make sure he didn't get found, why did he take his phone in the first place? Because that reveals a rough example of where he's located, doesn't it? And why was that key landmark, that key spot chosen for the phone to be dropped? You know, it might have made more sense if Kenny left his phone in his vehicle, because he might have been driving, or he might have been on the road where there was a signal, and then he could have phoned up someone, he could have messaged someone goodbye. But from the looks of it, he didn't. He continued driving to the destination, he got out of his vehicle, and then he just went on to walk wherever, maybe as a hike. And when he finally reached the mine shaft, then did he decide to just drop the phone on purpose? It don't really make much sense. Why go out to kill yourself, take a phone with you which is virtually unusable, proceed to walk on a fairly long hike up to the mine shaft, and then decide to place it down and then carry on walking? That doesn't seem quite normal, really. So it does raise a lot of suspicion. And like I said earlier, the rescue team inspecting the phone, what was on the phone? Was it blank? Was there information? Not much has been said. Why the silence? Is there something they're trying to hide? Or is it something that they don't feel is important, so it's not worth sharing? Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, there was a lot of mystery already surrounding the disappearance and these key items and objects found along the way can either help solve the mystery or just simply add more confusion to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. Goodbye.